All right. Well, I'm starting the show. So here we go. All right. This is Dennis, and it's the hell day is this? So it's May 23rd. It's Memorial Day weekend. And I had a engagement last night, so I couldn't do it on Thursday. I said, hell, let's just do something special for Memorial Day weekend. So here we are on a Friday night, and that was weird. I watched myself just blink. Strange. So so I was going to do a big car show tomorrow, and I just decided today that it's 95 degrees tomorrow. It's 45 minutes there. It's going to be over an hour home, and I just don't feel like doing it. This is the truth about Florida. Literally, car season is like ended. It is like now you just like have to pick like evening stuff, and honestly, yeah, even that. And the other thing is that's gonna be a lot of traffic tomorrow afternoon driving back with the car. And like as I've gotten older, I have actually now less tolerant of traffic. I've gotten to the point where I need to move out to Montana. I think that would be great. So hi Autobot Al. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing pretty good, except I'm dying of heat stroke down here. It's been great. It's good stuff. So I've also been working on the wife's Bronco. I'm gonna do a little video on that. It's a whole little neat system I won, and I'm glad you don't have any depressing stories tonight. You never know, I might trigger one. That'd be freaking awesome. I guess no, not really. So so my whole car season is kind of winding down. I've been doing maintenance on the car though. I welded some stuff. Actually, I actually should do a video. Even though I'm not even that great at welding, I really honestly, because I'm not great at welding, I'm probably gonna do a video on welding because you don't understand how freaking important it is to be able to weld something back together. Because I actually had to fix my garage one day, like the whole bracket broke in half, and I'm sitting there staring at it, going, yeah, and so I'm like, yeah. So I sat there and I welded the sucker back together. So and I fixed a few things. So yeah, no car show, huh? Don't blame. Yeah, Memorial Day. It's gonna be utterly miserable tomorrow, and it's supposed to be 95 to add it on top of that. And I'm driving a 53-year-old. Actually, now it's June 6th. It goes 50. It'll be 53 years old on June 6th. So yeah, I'm really not even thinking about it. It's just gonna be miserably hot. So I will do things with to the car. I mean, I'm gonna work on videos because I have a backlog of stuff. This week was such a busy week. Kicked my ass up and down. I had so many different events to go to. The intrepid assistant, also known as my daughter, is graduating, so they have all this stuff with the school that I as being a good dad had to go and do. So it's like I just got I just got absolutely my ass kicked this week. So I'm like, okay, I need to like chill and I do things around the house. I actually have to trim hedges. I'm so not looking forward to that. All right, so today I found a few really interesting articles. Um, oh wait, of course. Oh, hey, hi. Of course, hello, Vintage 76 Garage. Hi. And of course, Larry Mondello's Shoes always has interesting things with his trucks. I'm looking at this 2014 F250 6.7 diesel and off-road package. So it's FX4 as a backup to the 3500, which is still in the shop. Shocking. Well, they're the ones that screwed that up. So, um, I liked F250s. We owned an F250. Unfortunately, we owned a 6-liter, which we got lemon lawed because of air conditioning. It was everything else is fine. They got 11 miles to the gallon. It was a horrible diesel. The 6.7 is a solid car, a solid engine in a solid truck. The F250, it'll ride really nice. A lot of stuff is interchangeable F150s because they share I think by that generation they were sharing cabs. Maybe not. Trying to remember if it was later because I know the 15 and up F150. Well, I guess not. The 15 and up F150 shares the cab of the 17 and up F250 350. it's the same. I mean, it's just the rest of the thing so much bigger. Very good. The one thing you have to check on that is the EGR system. Make sure it was maintained. Uh, make sure that all the DPF stuff is there and working. Also, the transmission, make sure it was serviced. I mean, there's a lot of torque going through there. That only has this, I think, only has a 6 speed in it, which is actually a pretty good, pretty strong transmission. But I would definitely, the whole EGR system on that 6.7 is really what you need to be checking more than anything else. Not if it is too much high, if mileage isn't that high, you're pretty good. So I wouldn't be worried about buying a Ford diesel because that's an in-house diesel. It's not, thankfully they went in-house because they were having such a problem with international at that point. And of course, hi Jamie, nice to see you. Okay, all right. So this week has been, like I said, really kicking my ass, and then I had these weird. I mean, it was just a weird week of news stories. Oh, oh wait, no, I didn't see this one. Did you see Young Tony's Garage about the guy who's complaining about the remote starter not working on his EV charger? That's hilarious. And you're welcome, Larry. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, the EV thing. Actually, I have a couple of EV things here because that whole cabal is coming very much to an end. It is literally it's not in a good place right now, which is okay by me because it's taking away from real cars being developed. If Because everybody was wondering why Ford doesn't have a car anymore, because Ford loses $1 billion a year. Actually, no, was it $1 billion a quarter, $4 billion a year on EVs? I mean, that money could have gone to a lot of things that actually people wanted, and just it's like whatever. So this is pretty funny. This is actually list of cars that get into the most accidents, and it is absolutely hilarious what is on here because what is not on here are Mustangs, and Challengers and Chargers are not on this list. The car with the highest percentage accident rate is a Kia Soul EV. An EV, of course. And then the Mazda Speed 3, then the Bolt EUV, Jeep Wrangler. I just don't know how. The Volkswagen electric appliance, the Jeep YJ, a Hyundai a hybrid, the Bolt EV, of course, a Ram 2500, a Chrysler Voyager, a Chevy Volt, the EOS, a Ram 3500, a Prius Prime, EV6, a Lexus CT, which is I think an EV thing, the Beetle. I mean, if you look at this is like the who's who of bland or boring cars. The i3, which is absolutely hilarious, the Titan XD. So it is amazing. This is out of all the sales. Now, here's a weird one. I'm not surprised though. Broncos, 10% of Broncos are in accidents. 10%. That is absolutely amazing considering it's only a 4-year-old vehicle. And here in like like the Mach-E, almost 10% of them. The Prius V. This is actually such a weird list if you really look at it. It's strange. So no, and no RXZs. No. No, but I think the RXZ came with a kit that to shine your gold jewelry, and it came with hair gel, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's the IRXZs. So yeah, but I saw this and I was like floored by what was on this list, but there are no Mustangs, which is absolutely, I mean, everybody talks about Mustangs doing Mustang things, and yet not even 10% of the Mustangs get destroyed. And same thing with the Challengers and Chargers, because you always read about the high performance cars. Literally, there's no high performance cars on that list, and that blows out of the water the whole thing about high performance cars are. Oh my God, I'm sorry, vintage. You are at high risk of having an accident. I don't know why. I just don't know why. It's just weird. It's really, really weird. I don't even understand it. That list actually blew my mind. And that is from the Visual Capitalist. And so it's actually a really, really interesting list here of basically non-high performance cars and trucks are crash prone. Oh, and yes, my cat Puzzle has decided to grace me with her presence and annoy the hell out of me as I try to do this show by myself. Goody, goody, goody. All right, so yeah, yeah, we have so many other. There's another EV thing that caught my eye. Yeah, there's another EV thing that caught my eye. This is absolutely kind of amazing. That so we all know the Tesla Cybertruck. Right? And there's always the thing about what do you do now with used EVs? Because I mean, it's an electric appliance. It's like trying to trade in your refrigerator. I mean, there is kind of diminishing returns on it because it's electronic. So Tesla, in their finite wisdom, decided to take trade-ins on their on the trucks, and they this guy traded it in. It lost $35,000 of value over 6,000 miles. So he had $100,000 truck, and they offered him 65 grand for it. It wasn't even a year old. I mean, this is the insanity. And best of all, the guy that they were talking to was actually happy with that. This is what you have in the cabal. The cabal, like, there is no rational thought in the EV cabal. There is none, because rational people, if you lost 35% of your value of your vehicle in 1 year, that's BMW's 7 Series territory. Even the 7 Series doesn't lose that much value. And and so now they're trying this trade-in scam where they're offering more than CarMax, because CarMax, I think, offered this guy like $50,000 for it for a 1 year old. And the other issue that I think that's going to be very big on as these things age is if they're no longer under warranty, there's no one else to fix them. It isn't like Joe's garage down the street is going to be able to repair this truck. No one can. Tesla basically makes it so you're kind of stuck with them. Why? Thank. It's okay. You can finish your call. It's all right. And yes, Benjamin, they're never worth what they're asking for new ones. Absolutely not. No. The thing is that the EVs have this whole issue where, since they're electronic, and wiring and batteries and stuff degrade over time, computer chips degrade over time, and they are computer driven 100%. So now, as they age, you're taking a massive risk, because since Tesla basically holds everything proprietary, you're not going to run down to carparts.com and get a new computer for that thing. It's just not going to happen. Literally, you can't buy any real things of meaning aftermarket for that. You're not running out and buying battery pack. I mean, granted, like $35,000 buying a battery pack. So I mean, losing that much value seems about right. It's just like, if you buy a refrigerator and you try to sell it 2 years later, it's not worth anything. You bought $1,000 refrigerator, you can't sell that for $500. Same thing. So I honestly don't see how this is going to keep playing out. I mean, with and I'll get to it in a little bit. The what's happening over at Stellantis with the in the Dodge division is absolutely kind of just disturbing. But here is a real big thing of how bad it's gotten for EVs. General Motors, who was pushing for the California 2035 EV rules, where basically gas cars would be banned. Gas cars would be banned. They're going, hey, yeah, could we undo that? Because we're going to get destroyed if you do this. We won't be able to sell anything there. Uh, General Motors. All right, I'm just going to read some of this because this is absolutely hilarious. Uh, so so General Motors went and we need your help. GM sent an email it sent to past week to thousands of its white collar employees. Emission standards that are not aligned with market realities pose a serious threat to our business by undoing consumer choice and vehicle affordability. GM, one of the biggest sellers of EVs in the US, is encouraging employees to use script talking points to lobby senators. The goal is to nullify a 2022 California measure that would ban the sale of new gasoline powered cars and trucks by 2035. A mandate has been adopted by 11 other insane states. I added that. The Senate could vote as early as next week to revoke the waiver that allows California to set its own stricter tailpipe emission standards. GM set its own internal goal of ending sales of nearly all gas only vehicles by 2035 and initially supported the California target while advocating for a uniform national standard. But the EV market has taken a turn called reality. 3 years ago, U.S. automakers couldn't keep up with the demand. Now EVs are beginning to sputter. Discounts are drying up. Car buyers are seeking lower priced alternatives, and Congress is looking to roll back the tax credits. That's right, because I don't want to pay for your electric appliance. I shouldn't pay for your car. No, I shouldn't. None of us should pay for your car. It's your car. So General Motors making an amazing thing. When you start losing lots of money on these things, it's amazing what happens. It's amazing what happens when you want to actually keep your business going. It is absolutely hilarious. Now, the reality is that these are not things for mass market. There is a small percentage of people that buy these cars. That's fine. Whatever. Just don't push it on me. But it's just like high performance cars. There's a small market for that too. I mean, not everybody needs or wants a 600 horsepower car. I mean, I don't mind it. I would like it. I'm fine. But, I mean, I have a friend. She wouldn't want it. She wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. So it's amazing. It's utterly amazing what happens now when your business case falls apart because the market basically said this stuff's garbage and we don't want it. Plus, the infrastructure could never happen. Even under the previous administration that was so anti-car, they with their giant push, they built like 6 EV stations in 3 years. 6. I mean, at that rate, they'd get the country covered by 2022? 2200, 2100. Yeah, the 21st, 22nd century. It would be a long time. Uh Let's see. Benjamin. It took them forever to do that with digital TV conversions and converter boxes for only $50. There are way more poor people that could ever buy an electric vehicle. Absolutely. An electric appliance is a rich person's toy. It's not a common man's vehicle. It's a rich person's toy. Because a common person like myself, I consider myself common, especially when it comes to cars. Um, I like keeping stuff for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I mean, I have 2 cars that are over 30 years old, and actually 3 cars over 30 years old. I don't see the point of constantly changing things if they're good. Once you find something good, keep it. You can't do that on an electric appliance because once it's out of warranty, you're screwed. So, I mean, it really isn't a good It's not a good market. It's not a good thing to keep throwing all this cash in. I mean, General Motors and Ford are just bleeding cash because they're the ones that really have the bigger exposure at this point. And now Stellantis is going to get exposure. I mean, Honda basically, I didn't pull the article, but Honda went and they're going to build EVs, which make more sense because at least, okay, you don't have to worry about plugging into your house. And if there's a blackout, like what happened at my house, true story. Tuesday night, I was out at dinner. God, I was a busy week. And I come home. I first I get a text message from power company. You have no power. I'm like, okay, there's no rain or anything. Okay, great. So we drive home and all the lights are on and all down the street and stuff. Go the transformer that's 2 houses down from me blew up. So I didn't have power for 5 hours. Now next door to me, they have an EV. I'm wondering if his EV blew the damn thing out because I'm in a smaller community and the power lines are underground. There's a lot, there isn't any way to make any capacity higher. So I wonder, had all sorts of things on. It was a little warm air conditioning running, plug in the EV, blow it up. So it was 4.5 hours of having no electricity, and it was 85 degrees outside. Absolutely just terrible. So yeah, uh, I don't know what you do if there's no power. You can't charge your EV. If you're in a flood, get the hell away from it. It will catch fire because that's just fact. Salt water and batteries don't work very well together. So, but I actually I pulled this because this is kind of funny because this is something that most people don't like, and it's ass. So the EPA chief wants to eliminate common new car feature. Everyone hates it. Yes, the ass automatic start and stop. And we have this in our Bronco, and I defeated easily by putting the thing in sport mode. And here's what my problem with ass is. So my problem with ass is that first of all, you get barely any fuel economy improvement. The EPA says you can get 4 to 5%, which is nonsense because it won't. But here is where it really makes a problem. This ass, automatic start stop or stop start, whatever it is, ends up killing your starter in half the time. Starters today last 10, 15 years, 20 years. I mean, they last a long time because they're high torque. They're fixed magnet starters. They're not like the old school ones. They don't spin slow. They spin really fast. But now, if you're constantly, say you go on a 10-mile drive and there's lights and stuff and you stop, and that car starts and stops 40 times. That is the equivalent of 40 days. Like, if you do like 20 days, like you started to go to work, started to come home. That's 20 days in that one trip of use on that starter because it's electronic. And electronic has a certain amount of wear in it. And the other part is what happens if your battery just suddenly dies? Batteries do that. I've had batteries that were perfectly fine, went to start my truck, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, it ain't starting. And now you're at a light and your ass turns off the car, and now you're sitting there and you take your foot off, you put your foot on the brake, off the brake, put the gas. And now because you have that, now you're stuck at the light and you can't get the car started. That's a problem. And it has happened. I have seen it happen. And God forbid it happens at a really busy intersection because you could have a serious accident. Somebody could actually hit you. I mean, bad things can happen. And I just don't, if you're in traffic where you're stopped in traffic and all of a sudden the car turns off and then it doesn't restart, that can be very bad. So this is a really, really bad technology. I don't understand why the government is even involved in this. The government, because it's mandated, the manufacturers should have that as an option and tell you if you. I mean, I don't even know why it's an option, but whatever. But this is another thing where the government made it more expensive to do a car because now they had to spend money to make the ass a part of your car. You wonder why cars are $50,000 now. It's because of stuff like this. I mean, the stupid things are crazy. Let's see. Oh, Paul Erickson's late. Can you start over? Okay. All right. So let me explain. No, let me summarize. All right. First, we had car crash models, and most of them were actually all of them were non-high performance cars. A lot of EVs. Tesla is now taking Cybertrucks, and you're getting killed on when you try to trade them in. They're absolutely losing money like nobody's business. GM is reversing course and doesn't want EV standards for 2035. And now there's no ass for your car. All right, you're all caught up. I can't tell you how many Benjamin, of course. I can't tell you how many times I can't restart my ass. We all have that problem. Oh, G Kennedy, I was about to do that one. I'm so happy Dodge is building new batteries in Ontario. Oops. Yeah. We're gonna get to Stellantis in just a minute because they are a dumpster fire. I've never seen a car company this incompetent and still in business. I mean, they are a level of incompetence that I can't honestly. They make Radio Shack look pretty competent, and that's saying a lot. Because Radio Shack partnered up with Sprint because that was going to save them. And my cat. So let's see. Oh yeah, push start start to turn off. Yeah, Jamie. People forget to turn. Yeah, actually, some cars are so stupidly quiet that honestly, yeah, you can forget it. Though you hope that your car running ding 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 when you open the door keeps going. I've actually done that a couple of times with my trucks. Just push start, and honestly, it's so ridiculous because you're adding another because the system itself is insane. The system itself is insane because not only is it a push start where it just mimics the key turning, but there's also a Bluetooth element to it. There's a receiver to know that that your key fob is there, and if that goes bad, you can start the vehicle, but it's a pain. Like on my F-150, you have to. I had a jump seat in mine, and it's buried on the jump seat, and you got to put it in just in the right spot and hold it there and turn yourself around in 4 circles and set and then throw some dust in the air and then push the thing and hope it starts. It's actually a very silly system when you really come to think of it. Turning the key in ignition actually seems like a great idea right now. I don't know. I have 3 cars that you turn the keys in. I don't have any problem starting them. I've had the battery die in my key fob for my truck, and of course it was when I was out drinking, and it was 1 o'clock in the more. Ow! All right, I'm having cat problems. See, puzzle here. She has separation anxiety, and she gets really, really bad. It's terrible. It's really, really terrible at this point. The poor thing is it's too much. It's too much. It really is. So you go there. All right. So what happened? So the battery died in it. It's late, and I had to have somebody else drive me. Like I went and stayed at somebody else's house, and they were going to drive my truck, and I got it started. We're using a remote start, and then the next morning I went to leave, and it was completely dead. And the alarm starts going off, and all sorts of things are happening. And I'm like, so I'm in this quiet neighborhood with my hungover and having my truck not wanting to start. Of course, it does it at the worst time. So that's the fun and games of that stupid button to start the system. It really and it's basically now universal. It's like power windows and air conditioning. It's just universal at this point. So kind of sucks. All right. So this the last new what the heck is this? I'm trying to pull up this is a hilarious article. Absolutely my favorite company, and yours, of course, Stellantis. Stellantis let me take Jamie off there. You'll have to wait longer for that Dodge Charger six-pack. Dodge told dealers earlier this year there'll be sale by summer. Yeah, now they're saying second half. That doesn't bode well. The EV charger basically is not selling. They have actually, I think they have a year's supply already laying on the lots from the amount they're selling. They have a year's supply, and at this point, um, they kind of need anything with a gas engine in it to, like, I don't know, help. And even with the stupid names, it would still be something, right? And they can't get this car. I mean, they're such a mess. They can't get this car rolling, and they've been working on this car now for 2 years. And I guess they wasted so much time and money with the electric version, which they didn't get right, that now this gas powered version is not happening, or at least not happening soon. And now the funny part is, so yeah, recapping, that's gonna be second half. Summer begins on June 20th. So brief delay. No, I mean, the last time they had a delay like this was with the electric one, and it was delayed 6 months. That electric car or that electric appliance that they came out with was supposed to come out like May of last year, and it came out in January. They literally were not available till January of this year. So this is how bad it's going to be. Um, oh my God, this is funny. Benjamin always Dodge announces new BOGO free deal. They might as well at this point. Vintage 76 Garage. So the six pack will be a leftover model when available? Yes. That's just like all the last calls were leftovers. I mean, hell, they just finished selling them earlier this year, and they were 23s. So in 25, they were selling 23s as new cars. The EVs were labeled originally as 24s, being sold in 25. I mean, think about how they screwed you if you're a customer. They literally sold a 24, they called it a 24 model, and they called it a 24 model, but instead it was a 25, but they called it a 24. So now you had a year of depreciation when it rolled off the lot, being a 24. And it's like, okay, that's not good. And we see what the depreciation is like on these electric appliances. It's pretty bad. So I can't fathom, how they're going to do this. But I mean, honest to God, when you look at this, at their just lack of just their disaster, and demand for the EV isn't growing as fast as expected. Growing as fast as expected. And I like how they blame tariffs for people just not wanting their garbage. Um, there was rumors last year that demand for the gas-powered version had prompted an automaker to move up the model's launch from late 2025 to early summer. But I think, oh well. However, a lot has changed since then, and the threat of tariffs. I love tariffs as an excuse. When you have a poor product, you blame anything else except yourself for having problems. I mean, because if you're gonna have problems, find a scapegoat. And they because they stopped production of the only product that Chrysler makes, and they use tariffs as an excuse. It's just nobody wants it. It's a minivan. It's expensive. And then the EV isn't selling. It's nothing to do with tariffs. It's just nobody wants it. It's 60 to 80 grand. And they just got rid of the 60 grand one. Well, they didn't get rid of it. It's still sitting on lots. There's 3,500 of them on lots. There's plenty to pick from. I mean, you maybe can wait for a year and they'll have battery degrade a year, and you'll be able to pick them up for 50 grand. Hey. So yeah, things are going really bad still at this. They're still looking for a CEO for the company. Elcom is trying his best to keep it from becoming a complete disaster because it's part of his family legacy. Because grandfather started Fiat. But at this point, I don't I can't see these companies staying around, or at least in the form that it is. And there was a rumor they were going to merge with Renault. And why do you want to keep adding bad car companies together? Even if you keep adding them, if you keep adding bad companies together, it doesn't help. They're still bad companies. I mean, Fiat and Peugeot being merged together didn't make the product any better. It just made it more garbage. Oh, I love this. The Canadian government just gave Stellantis $8 billion to build batteries. Yes, I remember that. Oopsie. Yeah, yeah. Good going. That worked out well. Well, don't worry. The the auto union here, in the United States, went with Stellantis because they're going to open up the Belvedere plant. Yeah, let's see how that's working out. Oh wait, they just canceled all the battery stuff from there. They just canceled the part manufacturing from there. But they say the Dakota is going to come there eventually. So yeah, Stellantis has a way of uh, kind of not honoring their word, I guess would be the word for it. Surprised Florida isn't full of EV cars with all the rich folks down there. There aren't that many rich folks here. I mean, I see a fair amount of those appliances, but our grid can't handle it. I mean, Florida's grid is pretty taxed because now we have 23 million people, and I mean, 15 years ago, I think we only had like 18 million people, maybe less. So I mean, there's just not enough juice going around. We have two nuke plants, but the rest were coal that were pretty efficient, but now they're natural gas, which is really something. And I either have two or three nuke plants, but I mean, honestly, they haven't built a new power plant in a while. And yeah, so we're just kind of like, yeah, it's not really a great place for it. And plus, things are very far away in Florida. I don't know about you, but range anxiety is a real thing down here. Because I mean, here to Miami is 250 miles. I'm just north of Tampa, and it's not an easy 250. And you have to run air conditioning because it's hot. So I mean, whatever range you would have, and plus you have to drive 80 miles an hour. I actually saw a thing. Florida is like one of the fastest driving states in the United States. Average speed on the highways is 66 miles an hour. Yay! Okay. Uh, thank you, Benjamin, for always bringing this back to serious. The Canadian government is a silent partner of Sirius XM. I wouldn't be that. Lots of people getting solar panels. Yes, they are. There is, of course, a time frame on solar panels. People don't realize they actually have a lifespan because they are an electronic thing. They last, I think, about 10 years, and then you're screwed. Then you have to redo it, and whatever that is. It's a great idea. One day it'll be perfected, but right now it's a nice idea. I wouldn't want to rely on it alone for power, but right now it's a good thing. Like if you have them, especially for an emergency, and you have extra batteries and stuff like that. I mean, it can work well for a power outage. But yeah, yeah, a lot of people are doing that. But there is also a long term expense on that. So always remember that. Always remember that. There's always a hidden expense on everything, especially when it comes to electric stuff, because electric stuff wears out just like everything else, except faster. So yeah, and it's just really weird. I still haven't seen a new charger appliance. I mean, they've sold damn near 2,000 of them since January. I should see one, right? I'm in Florida. We have 23 million people here, and I drive a lot. I've yet to see one. I have not seen one. I actually have seen more Aston Martins than I've seen. I've seen an Aston Martin SUV and two Aston Martin cars in the last 2 weeks. but I haven't seen a Charger EV, or and actually I haven't seen a Hornet in 2 months. So, yeah, that's always the weird thing. I see these exotic cars, but I don't see like normal stuff that you should see, like a Dodge, but I don't see it. It's actually kind of funny. Hell, I've seen more dark horses than I've seen friggin' Hornets. Go let that one sink in for a second. It's $80,000 Mustang, and I've seen more of them than I've seen a $30,000 Dodge. That just gives you an idea how bad the Hornet really, really is at this point. So another little interesting thing. I'm gonna go back to old cars at this point because this is really. I was last week. I was talking about how the market seems like it's gotten a little on the soft side, and I've noticed that the consignor by my house is overrun with cars, which is always a bad sign because now that means people are dumping them. A lot of the boomers are getting to the point where they can't, and us Gen Xers don't like a lot of the cars that they have. Like I have no desire, and my cat is doing something. I have no desire for a 50s car. None. I really, really don't. Maybe a Christine 59. But vintage 76 garage. Never saw an Aston Martin SUV. It kind of looks like a Jaguar-ish thing, but it really is an Aston Martin, and it's an animal. I mean, it has like 600 horsepower. Actually, for Formula One, they use it for the medical car, so you can actually see it there. Aston Martin is the official uh, safety car and the medical car for Formula One. So yeah, it's fast. Actually, I saw a freaking Lamborghini SUV in a parking lot of a Publix, but yet I've not seen an EV charger yet. Pretty sure Puzzle has something to do with that. Probably. I'm because I didn't feed her before I left, so maybe she was a little angry. There was a little bit of sabotage going on. Sabotage, because that's just the way it works with the cats. So yeah, but yeah, it's really weird what you do and do not see down, especially here where it's a high volume. Like I see Broncos everywhere, but my mom who lives out in Nevada, they see like one or two. But I mean, literally, I can't drive anywhere without seeing 5 Broncos, which is pretty phenomenal, actually. It's like one of those, like, wow, this is like one of those hotbeds from Broncos. Kind of interesting. So yeah, so let me get back to the old car. So the market is gotten to the point where it's a little on the weird side. There's another Meekum coming up soon, and it seems like things are. I don't know. It's just there's too much. There's a glut of supply more than anything else. But this one's really weird. This is a really weird story I found this week, and it kind of puzzled my mind. This Plymouth Superbird sold for 1.65 million in 2022. It sold for 418,000 this the last auction, like the last Meekum. Think about that. This car, there's been no changes to it, and it lost $1.2 million of value. I mean, look, it's a vitamin C car. It's got rally wheels on it, black interior, black trim, white Plymouth on the back, so it stands out. Um, so yeah, so in 2022, it sold for 1.65 million after buyer's fees. And they get 10% on both sides, so it was like 1.4. Now, this one just sold at Meekum without a reserve. So no reserve and went 418. 418. I mean, that is insane. And honestly, nothing has been done to this car. It literally, I don't even think it has more. And see, what happened though, this was a collection. It was a collection that got sold off because this is what we're having at this point. The collections are getting sold off, and now you're flooding the market with cars. So this guy brought 25 cars to the Meekum auction, And, you now have a whole glut of these types of cars. I'm not, they say they've never seen a classic car drop as much as Newton's Plymouth. Yes. Uh, Maybe because he overpaid for it. I don't know. It's an unrestored Hemi Superbird with 33,000 miles on it. I mean, that is an original car. Like, it's probably nicer than it was when it came out of the showroom. And it literally just dropped off and died. I mean, it's really weird. Look, I mean, there's nothing on this car with that's a problem. But now with a past another at the Indy Mecum, uh, the other Hemi one with 21,000 miles sold for 550,000. So literally the market on these cars was going absolutely crazy a few years ago, and now the reality is coming down. What's happening? It seems like the bottom of the market's coming up, and the top of the market is kind of coming down, which usually does happen when you start having a correction in it. But you know, a lot of people younger than me. I'm only in my early 50s. This is just hard living. I look like this. Um, y- you know, don't want, people in their 30s, muscle cars are kind of a foreign thing to them. They never saw them on the road. I mean, if you're 30 years old right now, you were born in 1990, 1995, right? You're 30 years old. These cars were never on the road when you were young. They were already collectors. I mean, they were already cars that were only went to car shows. So there's no frame of reference for this car. So it's kind of you're at the point where there's a lot of glut in the market, and it's just going to correct itself. That weirdly, and it's just weird that happened to a Hemi car, because I always figured the Hemi cars would just go to the collectors that used to get Duesenbergs, and they would just now buy Hemi cars because they're rare. There's only 10,000 Hemi cars made for, and what are you doing, Puzzle? The 10,000 Hemi cars made over the 7 years, 8 years, the 8 years that they were in existence. So there's not a lot of them to start with, and of course varying variations of automatics and sticks and race cars and whatnot, and that's including the race cars, 10,000. And I figured that those would, but it's just weird to see one of those plummet. That's yeah, it's just really, really weird. All right, G Canada, we'll go back to the appliances. The Tesla Model Y long range starts at 300 miles after driving 150 miles in a Canadian winter. It starts showing 50 miles left. That's an expensive car that can only go 200 miles in Canadian winter. Well, the other thing, Florida, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada. Remember, they have to cool themselves too because they can't let the batteries get hot. So there's a full cooling system there. They actually use a lot of electricity. Batteries you go down faster when they're hot too. So they don't work efficiently when they're cold, but they discharge quickly when they're hot. And they have a cooling system there. If that cooling system fails, that's why I have a feeling that a lot of your spontaneous electric appliance fires happen when that cooling system fails. Because if it fails, all bets are off. I mean, if you think about when you're driving down the road in your car, the around your car is like if it's a 90-degree day outside, around your car is like 120 easily off the tarmac, 120 easy. And yeah, I mean, it's really not good. Yeah, it's vintage 76. He's a younger guy. Muscle cars were already expensive when I was in high school, which is why I bought a VW Bug. Yeah. I mean, the and even then, if you really think about it, relatively to now, they weren't that expensive because I have old magazines like one of these. This is what year is this? I have this magazine here. It's a Mopar Performance magazine. More Performance. Uh, that in here, and they have like a for sale section. This March 1991. So this is like 30 something years old, but they have cars for sales in here, and it's mind numbing when you sit here and look at cars. Like There is a Charger RT in here. There's 2 of them. There's a Charger RT automatic and a 4-speed. Perfect cars right here. Right here. See that? 2 cars, $17,000. 2 cars, 17 grand. A 70 Roadrunner 383 car, $2,900. This is 1991. This is why I keep old magazines, because you can't find this type of stuff online, which is kind of sucky. Because yeah, but that's and we thought that was expensive. Oh my God, $9,000 for a 1971 RT? That's insane. Now you can't touch that car for 70,000 each. I mean, that's just the way it is. I knew a girl that had a Superbird, bought it in 86, a 446 pack, four speed super track pack, petty blue 999 code car, bench seat. She bought the car for $5,000. It's a $350,000 car now. It was an original car, 50,000 miles on it. In 91, you could buy a Volkswagen thing for $50. I don't think it was that cheap for a Volkswagen thing. The things had a following early. They did. Vintage 76 knows this. The Volkswagen thing was always one of those cars that had a cult following. It was a whole thing. Let's see, 95 paid $500 for a non-running little rot VW. Well, actually, that's not bad because you can put the motor together. Not that expensive. In fact, you probably could do it in your living room. I've seen it done. That's the one thing I love about those cars. I wish I had more. I'm really hoping to get more space because you know what? I almost just want to build one just to say I did it. You know what I mean? Because the engine's so tiny, even I can pick it up and throw it in the car and stuff. It's such an easy car to work on that it would actually be kind of fun to do. It's just one of those thoughts I'm having. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just getting very weird out there with the old cars. And actually, I should probably go to the a consignment place by me, maybe take some pictures. I don't think they're very keen on people doing video in their place. I kind of have a feeling that they may not, but take some pictures and do some talking points on it because honestly, it's really weird how all of a sudden stuff is just getting dumped and hard. But it's like I heard that there's 10,000 boomers a day retiring, and they're the ones that have all those 50s cars and a lot of the early 60s cars. Hell, even a lot of the muscle cars. And at this point, it's just like, yeah, the dumping has begun, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens because I noticed at like Mecum, uh, a lot of stuff like Porsches and BMWs, like my '89 BMW. Those cars are really coming up in value very hard at this point, and there's a lot of more interest in them overall at the auction at some auctions, especially not like the Florida auctions, but if you go out west, a lot more interest in those types of cars, and it's because frame of reference. Remember, frame of reference for car collecting is a big deal. Like that's why I don't like 50s cars. It's not that I don't like them; it's just I have no desire for them. I mean, I have no frame of reference. They were old cars when I was young. I mean, when I was born, a '55 Thunderbird was 16 years old. It was, I don't remember anything when I was that young, but by the time I started noticing cars, it was like 1977, 78. And now they're 30, they're 20-something-year-old cars, and at that point, a 20-something-year-old car was garbage. They weren't made to last that long. And I have no frame of reference for it. They have drum brakes on them, single master cylinders, suspensions that will scare you to death, no seatbelts, and some don't have safety glass. Really not my idea of something I want to bring on the street. I mean, I don't anticipate having an accident, but the brake thing's kind of a big deal for me. It's stopping is like a huge, huge deal. So yeah, it's like a whole thing. And yes, Vintage 76 Garage. Florida is full of vintage VWs, clubs, vendors, etc. Yes, it is. I see a lot of them. I've seen 21 windows. I'm like, damn. There's actually a bug jam near my house. Massive days. And they have a thing where they have was it buses over the Skyway where they drive, all the VW buses over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, which is absolutely hilarious because, well, it's steep and they have no power. And they go 20 miles an hour up the hill and 70 miles an hour down the hill. It's very, very fascinating. But yeah, it's a huge spot for it because they don't rot down here, not like they do like up north. I had a friend that had a VW in college. He was up in Michigan, and literally he had no heat in the wintertime because the sides were rotted out, and then the heat went from the engine forward to blow out the vents, and it couldn't because the channel was rotted out. So there's that. Yeah. So I, I'm hoping I can get some more of my some videos, get some interesting stuff. I was so busy that I literally haven't been working on anything, but I have some neat concept things working on right now. Little some how tos. I actually have a little walk around in a Chrysler picnic car show where there was 141 cars in someone's lot and merits. I did put out the burnout video if you guys have seen it. Share it if you've seen it. Share it with your friends because those are real people's cars doing real burnouts on a real street. Because why not? That's what they're there for. So it's just like a whole thing. I so hopefully I'll be able to catch up a little bit, keep working with this, figure out what this can be. We'll go back to Thursday night next week, and then in 2 weeks I will probably I will not have one that week because I am entertaining people from out of town, and we'll come back. So I have one next week, skip a week, come back in 2 weeks, so we can enjoy June, the excitement of June, and we should have a bunch of videos soon. Oh my god, this thing keeps moving. The vid, yeah, oh wait, I like to buy a VW Vanning and oh yeah, set 20K. Yeah, anything like that has gotten expensive. And thank you for seeing the video. Let us share it. Oh yeah, what about Alex gonna be mad he missed all the ass talk? Yeah, I know. We had so much ass talk today. It was great. You're welcome, G Canada. You're welcome. I always appreciate you around. Yeah, so we're gonna have some more fun stuff. I actually am working right now on when I had no fuel going to my carburetor. It's actually kind of fascinating because I go through the technique of and it's just troubleshooting, but it's actually there's a lot of lesson there. And I actually didn't intend to do it either. It was just one of those things where oh my god, I have no fuel. And I just spent $170 on a fuel pump. That's just not a good feeling. That's a crappy feeling. So yeah, it's gonna. So I'll have more time to do videos since it's gonna be hotter than hell outside. It's already 90 something every day, and it's gonna start raining. So then once it starts raining, the cars just don't go anywhere. So yeah, but I thank everyone for coming. We're not gonna go too long because it's Friday night. I figure somebody's gonna want to go somewhere. I'm tired from my week anyway. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope there was something interesting in here. I hope I answered your questions. I hope I entertained you. I hope everything was, rainbows and unicorns. Just so, maybe one day I'll if I could just maybe I'll talk about well, I can't gotta go this way. Talk about those crap cars because that is actually hilarious. Maybe do a whole thing on crap cars based on that book. I'll do because it is there. It's amazing. Yes, thanks, Benjamin, for the rainbows and unicorns. Thank you very much. I try. So yeah. All right. Well, everybody have a really great Memorial Day weekend. Well, except you, G Canada. I don't think you guys celebrate that. We do. Because we're Americans, we just make holidays up. And yeah. Still in the 40s. Oh my God. Oh, so, before I even go, so my daughter wants to go to school in Chicago, and she's a Florida girl, and, she's never been up there. So, I'm planning on going and visiting the school in January, middle of January, like, actually toward the end of January, because I know by then they're getting feet of snow. So I think that's when we'll go up there and visit the school so she can feel below 0. It'll be, I'm just that type of person. Yep, May 2 to 4 was last, yep, Victoria Day. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Yes, Jamie, bitter cold. Bitter cold. Exactly. I'm devious when I'm trying to prove a point. Yeah, I lived through cold, and I don't like it and don't wanna go near it again. So, yeah, I even drove my Charger when it was very cold, and that was miserable because that car's heat was always, questionable at best. So there's that. Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's where you are, near the Twin Cities. -40 to 105. That's great. Mm. Uh, no, Vintage 76, I grew up in New York City, and, it's a miserable kind of damp, uh, cold. And if it isn't, like, below freezing, it's in the 30s or 40s, and it's probably raining. And so it's this damp, bone chilling cold that you can never get warm from. It's really, really miserable. And I don't like experiencing it. So yeah, I'm sacrificing myself to educate my daughter, the intrepid assistant. So there's that. Yeah. So yeah. So we're gonna have a lot more content that's not gonna be driving around or doing anything because it's gonna be too sucky for the next 4 months here in Florida. Ah, Jamie, yes, oh my god, the saga of my daughter driving. Well, we'll have some updates on that. Um, it's it's a it's kind of foreign to me considering I learned how to drive when I was 14, and now I have this, and I don't know. I just don't know. I'll even, I gotta do a video. I have time now. I'll do a video on the car that the Intrepid Assistant should be receiving, all the upgrades I've done to it because it's actually pretty neat. I actually had I actually had the video if I could finish it on the clutch I did on that car because that was hell. That was utter hell, and it was 12 hours of just hell. So yeah, we'll update you on that because yeah, no. Oh, and for everybody that's with knows me from Radio Gunk, I guess I did have lunch with Mo on Wednesday. We went to an Italian place. It was great. A 73 Dodge. No, it's a 95 BMW. Even though a 73 Dart would be a great car because honestly, once again, it's also not very fast, reliable, and cheap to fix. Yep, G Canada 14. I could drive 3 on a tree. Yep. I learned on a stick shift. I learned on a stick shift. Never driven before. I was on a stick. My grandfather was with me. He's like, "Oh, you gotta learn to drive." Okay, why not? Did you pay? Pay for what? Okay. So yeah. Uh yes, enjoy your weekend. All right, cool bit. All right. With on that note, on that bombshell of enjoying your weekend, thank you very much. And I will, of course, say it again, but I always mean this. You know, if you have something cool to drive, something old, something fun, take it out because you're going to make someone's day and it will probably be your own. And that really is true. I get so many fun things when I take my Charger out or even the BMW. Did you pay? Did you go Dutch? No, I always pay. Yes, woot woot. Oh, wait. Oh, take a, with Mo? Oh no. She's always nice and generous since I don't get anything for the show, uh, she paid. So, yes, it's the little things in life. It was nice. We had sandwiches. It was very delicious. No, we did not go to the Rainbow. We went to an Italian market in St. Pete. It was great. It was fun. It was a fun time. Yeah, I know, Benjamin. I'm a little slow this week. I've had one of these weeks where it's just, yeah, nothing, the synapses aren't working. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's been it's been exciting. I'll see everybody next week. Hopefully, I'll have a video out and you can see my insanity that I live with cars. So as always, we'll go domani and see you next Thursday. Bye. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.